to the steering column. This is for the cargo light there in the back, and then you have the headlight switch here. So there's complete off, parking lights, automatic headlights, which also has the automatic high beams, and then the headlights themselves there. Dimmer switch to the interior gauges here as well. And then there's a tilt and telescoping. It's kind of stiff. Tilt and telescoping. There we go. Steering column. I'm sitting in the driver's seat. I'm 6 feet tall, and I have the driver's seat all the way back and all the way down to show you the potential legroom here. And that's basically where I normally sit, all the way back anyway. I lift it up slightly just to make it a little bit more comfortable with the seat. But yeah, as far as the legroom, it's fine with me being 6 feet tall. If you're over 6 feet tall, you might want to take it for a test drive to make sure that it's gonna work right for you. But 6 feet for me, sometimes I feel like I'm trying to push the button to see if it'll go back a little bit further, but so far it's been okay. Steering wheel is really comfortable. Good thickness, it's soft to the touch, really nice. It's also heated as well. So yeah, very comfortable steering wheel. Good thickness, really good. Here on the left side is the volume for the radio. You can mute the radio here. You notice this little section here at the bottom is separate from the top. So this part and this part are together. So you have the change through the tracks. You also have 2 buttons here. The changing through the tracks also serves to answer and hang up a phone call. So if somebody's calling you, hit this button to answer, and when you're finished, you hit this to hang up. I like the way it has separate buttons for the hang up, but you know, I guess it's okay as long as you having buttons for changing the tracks. You know, kind of like a little bit, I kind of prefer separate buttons for this particular case, but it doesn't really matter, I guess, in practice. Voice recognition here. So right above this area is the cruise control. So you have to turn it on and then you can set it. So you press this button and then you pull down to set. You can increase or lower the speed. You can resume here. I wish it was just one button to do everything, but you know, like some other vehicles. The lane keep assist system, once you turn it on, it stays on, which is nice. You can set the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you. You can cancel here. On the right side, this is for the screen between the gauges. We'll get to that in a second. You have a menu, OK, up and down, and a back. We'll use all those when we use a screen, go through the screen right here. Windshield wiper controls are here, fairly straightforward. Turn signals over here, of course. It also has the headlight dimmer switch. But it also has this button here on the end. So if you don't have the cruise control on and you want the lane centering system to be active, you can quickly turn it on there. Okay, so here is the gauges. Tachometer, RPM gauge here on the left side, right above the engine coolant temperature. Here on the right side is the fuel gauge here, and then the speedometer, the more standard speedometer. But here in the center, it has the digital speedometer, what gear you're in. It has the miles to empty, odometer here, how many miles the vehicle has, which direction the vehicle is facing, which right now we're facing west, and then the outside temperature there as well. So right now it's showing in addition to the speedometer, it's showing the fuel economy. So you notice the screen's flickering a little bit. Let me see if I can make that go away. Yeah. It's a little bit better, but yeah, it has nothing, I mean, the vehicle is not flickering, it's my camera doing it, so just keep that in mind. Okay, so it's showing right now these fuel economy, showing average 22 miles per gallon average. When I scroll down, so you have the menu button up and down and back. Remember those buttons? Scrolling down, we get more information. We have the trip, we have the tire pressure. This is the status of the all-wheel drive system, how much power is going to the front versus the rear. Most of it's going to go to the front unless it needs the rear wheels, depending on what drive mode you're in. Scrolling down again will show the angle of the steering. So as I turn the steering wheel, it'll show the angle there in the center, and then it also shows the pitch and roll of the vehicle. So whether you're going up and downhill or if you're leaning left and right, that kind of stuff for the off-road mostly use. So this right here is whatever your radio is doing, and then it goes back to the miles per gallon there. Now if we hit the menu button, pops up this little menu, and then we can select the different screens that we have. There's the audio. Let's go up here to select screens. So if we want a comm screen, we can select that. We can have a second trip, We have different things that we can also have a trailer light check, that kind of stuff, which you can have here on the main screen. You have audio, phone, and then we have all the settings here. And then you can go and set up the display right here. And let's go back up here to all the settings. You can kind of get an idea of what's in here. So yeah, that's kind of a quick rundown of what's on that little screen there in the center. It's a pretty good amount of information there when you need it. Okay, so this screen over here, we saw the little storage compartment up here. There's another one here, and it goes in just a little ways. It has a little lip, a little rubber bottom with a little lip on it so things don't slide out in theory, but this little mat comes out fairly easy, so I think most of the time it'll be fine though. But this comes out easy so you can clean it, so that's nice. So this touch screen right here, we go to the home button, and it's a split screen between the navigation, radio, and your phone. And you can just tap the one that you want to go to. It has a digital clock, outside temperature, what your climate control settings are for your dual zone climate control. But you have these buttons here on the bottom that are very handy because they stay there. And then you can hit the audio, go straight there. You can change the source, AM, FM, satellite radio, in my case, Bluetooth stereo as well. And then we have the little presets there at the bottom, album art, that kind of stuff. Hit this button to go to your phone. You can add phones, and then you can connect to different phones here. And if you add more than one phone, it'll be a priority system. So you have one that's priority of the other. Navigation screens here. It's pretty straightforward. There's your menu. You can go to your history, get your favorites, that kind of stuff. Look for stuff, do searches. You do searches here as well. You can also pinch in and out, kind of get your bearings, see where you're at. There's the apps. You can find more mobile apps. So it does have the XM travel link, which is very convenient. Then you can go into your settings here, adjust the sound, clock, Bluetooth, satellite radio, navigation, and then general settings. You have all these different vehicle settings, which are separate. Let's go into the vehicle settings. It does have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. This is where I had to turn off the rear occupant alert because it was driving me nuts every time I got out of the vehicle. It was turning on and beeping and stuff like that. It sounded like there's something wrong with the vehicle. You can adjust the ambient light here, just the brightness, not the color. So yeah, that's kind of a quick rundown of how to navigate through the screen. It's fairly simple. So down here there's a physical volume knob, tune through the stations. We can change to the tracks, we can play and pause. We can turn the screen off if we want and just have that calm screen right there. This is handy for like if time is of the essence and you need to know the date and all that stuff. I really like that. You can make it dark by pressing it. You can turn it completely off by pressing it again. And then we can pull it back up here. Alright, if you press this button, it goes into the sound settings, which is very easy to have, really nice to have that, press it and make a quick adjustment there. Now the four-way flashers are here, and right next to it is the idle stop. You can turn it off, so it's very easy to get to that button. When I get in a vehicle, press the button immediately. Alright, so down here is the climate control. Driver and passenger temperatures are controlled here. Now the number isn't displayed here at the bottom, it's displayed here on the top of the screen right there. So as I turn the knob, you can see it moves and changes the number there for the driver and the passenger separate, or you can sync them if you'd like. You can turn on the heated side mirrors, front and rear defrosters, recirculate the air, turn the air conditioner on. You have the max AC, where you want the air to blow. You have 3 automatic settings, low, medium, and high. Heated seats, low, medium, and high, so it's 3-stage. Fan speed right here if you want to control it manually, or you can put it in automatic mode. So down here is where there's the switch for the rear glass, which I'll show you that in a second, in a few minutes. USB-C, USB-A, backlit. We already saw the start button. There is a wireless charger here, which works fairly well even with my phone case, and it's rubberized, so phone doesn't slide around. Little storage compartment there and here. So the passenger can prop their phone up there. You can also put something back there and also charge your phone, whatever you want to do there. Cup holders are here, has little spring-loaded little arms there. It's also open there in the center with a rubber bottom, so if you want to put other things besides cups, you can do that. There's a little storage compartment there, hard plastic. Okay, so here is the shifter. It's straightforward. Press and hold the brake, put it in reverse. Two things will happen. The backup camera will pop up, but also the parking sensors as well. And you have a little visual right here as well. But the backup camera is the field of view is good, and it works well. It has active guidelines and stuff like that, but it doesn't have a wide enough view to be able to see left and right. So other vehicles, like say Honda Ridgeline, you can actually, there's different views in which you can see left and right. Now in this case, you just have to rely on the rear cross traffic alert. With the Honda Ridgeline in particular, you can actually see if there's anything left or right. So having that wider field of view is handy. At least have that option. Now you can hit that button if you need to back up to a trailer. Gives you that center line right there and more detail. All right, there's neutral, drive, so it's pretty straightforward. There's also a low range here as well if you needed some engine braking going down a hill or something like that. Electronic parking brake, you just press, pull up on it. It engages the rear wheels, press and hold the brake, push it down to release it. So here's the different drive modes here. So you can lock the full drive in, lock the rear differential. The brake hold feature, you can turn that on if you need if you want to hold the brakes while you're come to a complete stop, basically. This is the downhill descent. It's kind of like a very slow off-road cruise control in a way. And then this is the traction control. So you can turn it off, and it gives you a little indicator here that it's off. Default will be on. And then you press this button, and it shows the different drive modes. And it shows here on the screen. So you have normal, tow and haul, slippery, mud, ruts. It's pretty cool. It has a little animation there. Sand, and back to normal. So you just kind of cycle through and rest on the one that you want. Okay, so little storage compartment here has a rubberized little floor there as well. So once again, you can put your cell phone or whatever you want in there as well. It's fairly tall, so you can put tall things in there as well. Okay, so the armrest, soft to the touch, very comfortable, pretty good size, but not big enough to share with the passenger, I don't think. Depends on how generous you are. And it lifts up. It's kind of spring-loaded a little bit so it doesn't slap back down on you. And it is just a compartment. There's no kind of connectivity or anything like that. It does have a felt lining at the bottom, which you can take out, which is just, if it was me, I would change that felt to like a lighter color so you can see in here a little bit better. But yeah, let me see if I can, increase the brightness there. So yeah, it's just a dark abyss compartment. Got my business cards in there. But yeah, it's if there was a light or a lighter interior, it'd be a little bit better. So the rearview mirror is just manual day and night mode, nothing special, kind of old school. There's tap lights up here. You could turn on all the interior lights, turn them all off, or have it turn on with the door in that center position. Place to put your shades. It is felt lined right here, nice and soft felt lining too. Here on this side, but not on this side where the lenses would be. So the headliner is a cloth, and then the visors match it as far as the way it looks. Same color, kind of very similar texture, but this is a vinyl material, which is nice, easy to clean, very durable. Has a little clip right here. Mirrors, lights. It does extend out and pretty decent as far as the coverage. You can see there's a clip on both sides. Basically the same thing there on the passenger side. Looking at the visibility, you can take those headrests off if you need to. But yeah, it's not really a big deal, the visibility. Looking over your shoulder, looking out the back window, out the rear view mirror, side mirrors, all that stuff is fine. Now for a truck, it has little tiny side mirrors, but yeah, it's not a big deal overall. I hadn't had really much of a problem with visibility. The only thing is, I just wish it had that camera, which is more of a wider view option anyway, because I've gotten spoiled with that view on other vehicles. So having that on this vehicle would be better, especially if you have a bunch of stuff in the back of the truck and it just limits your visibility that way. Having that little bit better camera system, especially on the top off-road trim and all that stuff, not having that additional view, just not even a 360 view, just a wider view on the backup camera would just make the driving experience a little bit better.